Phoenix, Arizona, at Maryvale Baseball Stadium, spring training home of the Milwaukee Brewers, where the Milwaukee Brewers Fantasy Camp has been taking place all week. Today's championship game matches Waffle versus BHD. Coaching for BHD today, former Brewers stars Greg Vaughn and Bob Scooby. Coaching Iron Waffle, Jerry Augustine and Pete Ladd, both former Brewers star pitchers. And the IW Brewers take the field. On mound, number 27, Gary Anderson, will be the starting pitcher. And behind the plate, number 6, Grasshopper Martin. Tony Peltisk will be the leadoff hitter for BHD. And we must tell you, it's a beautiful day here in Phoenix, Arizona. 70 degrees and clear with a light breeze here in Maryvale. And a lot of fans have come out to the park today to take advantage of the weather and the ball game. And here we are. All right, Anderson is warm. The umpire is signaling it's time to play ball. Tony Peltisk will be leading off for BHD. Tony, a right-handed batter. And Anderson steps off the mound to rub up the ball. And as Peltisk steps in, we want to remind you that Milwaukee Brewers spring training games begin here on March 1st, right here at Maryvale Stadium. Anderson into the windup, and he throws high and outside, ball one, and we are underway at Maryvale Baseball Stadium. Into the windup again, Anderson throws, and there's a long foul ball hit down the left field line into the seats, and a nice souvenir for a fan out there. Peltic was way out in front of that pitch. Anderson throws, swung on and missed by Pelsic. That one looked like a cutter on the low outside corner. Peltisk, a right-handed batter, wearing number 0. Anderson winds, here comes the pitch. Barely fouled. Peltis fouls it off, count 1 and 2 here in the top of the first. On deck is number 27, Jason Connell. And there's a ground ball through the hole into left field for a base hit. Tony Peltis singles to lead off the top of the first for BHD. And now coming up to bat, number 27, Jason Connell. All right, Anderson pitching out of the stretch. Here comes first pitch. Low, ball one. Peltis taking a very cautious lead off of first. And we don't know what kind of move Anderson has into the stretch. Here comes the pitch. That one bounces in the dirt. And a good stop by catcher Grasshopper Martin for Iron Waffle. So Anderson goes to 2-0. On Jason Connell. Here comes the pitch. On the outside corner, strike one. And there's another ground ball hit into left field by O'Connell. Pelsic takes second, makes the turn, and holds. So BHD starts off with 2 singles, runners on first and second. And Chris Teskey coming up to bat for BHD. And a lot of fans out here in shirt sleeves today. As I mentioned before, it is beautiful weather. A large group enjoying the view from the lawn out beyond the right field seats. Teskey, a left-handed batter, takes strike one. Garrett Newkirk on deck. Runners on first and second, nobody out here in the top of the first. Anderson winds, throws, ground ball to first base, and he's going to run it over and get the out at first. The runners advance, so Peltis goes to third, Connell to second on a ground out by Chris Teskey. And that leaves it up to Garrett Newkirk to try and get those runs in. Men on second and third, one out here in the top of the first. And the first pitch, he hits a long fly ball. That one's going to go foul and into the bullpen. Down the left field line, strike one. Anderson ready. Here comes the pitch. Outside corner, strike two. On Newkirk, the number 4 hitter for BHD. 0-2 the count. 1 out, runners on second and third. Here comes the pitch. A little outside. It looks like he's trying to stay away from Newkirk. Maybe during the past week he's seen that Newkirk is a pull hitter, has some power. 1-2 the count. Anderson in the windup. Here comes the pitch. Another long drive hit down the left field line. This one is curling foul also. So we're still at 1-2. A lot of fans here today really enjoying this game, as it is free to all fans. Anderson pitches in the dirt, ball 2. 2-2. Yes, it is free to all fans, so if you're one of those people driving by out there on 51st Avenue, feel free to pull in here and enjoy the game. We could not have asked for a better day. Newkirk fouls it off behind home plate, and that will go into the seats right behind home plate. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason O'Connell on second, Chris Teskey on third, as Newkirk tries to get a run home here. And the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout for Anderson, 2 down, and he may get himself out of this jam. He had 2 on and nobody out. Now there's still 2 on, 2 out, and number 24, Craig Salzer, coming up to the plate. Salzer, a big left-handed batter. Actually reminds us a lot of Greg Vaughn when he was in his playing days. Anderson into the pitch. Ground ball hit right back at the pitcher. He throws over to first. Oh, and he overthrows it. Ball gets away from the first baseman. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score on a throwing error by pitcher Gary Anderson. So it looked like Anderson had gotten out of that jam. 2 on and nobody out. Then he had 2 on and 2 out, and they both scored on a throwing error by the pitcher himself. So as number 20, Gene Hodgin, comes up to bat. Salzer is at second base after the throwing error. Anderson in the windup. Pitch is high. Ball 1. On deck, number 15, Terry Jansen. Anderson's next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 1. So we're at a 1-1 count, 2 outs here in the top of the first, 2 runs in for BHD. And Anderson's pitch, swung on and missed again. Count 1-2. Gene Hodgin looks like a powerful left-handed batter. And he's up there with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Runner will be going on any contact. Anderson's pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Inning is over, but BHD does get 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left on base to score at the end of a half an inning. BHD 2, Iron Waffle coming up to bat.
We're inviting you to be a part of some semblance of what I feel is the best organization in baseball. You are a part now. Only for a week, though. You can't go home and tell somebody you made the club, but you are down here for 1 week as a Milwaukee Brewer. Enjoy it, and we enjoy having you.
As we prepare for the bottom of the first, and Iron Waffle coming up to bat, Craig Salzer is on the hill, left-handed pitcher for BHD, and behind the plate, Tony Paniagua. And for Iron Waffle, number 44, Rob Slack, will be leading off, a right-handed batter. And umpire signal for the catcher to throw down to second base, so momentarily Slack will be stepping in. interesting music you hear in the background. Every player gets to pick their own theme song, as it were, as they come up to home plate. And it's a very diverse list of music. Rob Slack is stepping in to lead off. Slack steps out and looks back at the booth. Apparently that was not his theme song playing, that Madonna song. Getting quite a few laughs from the players on the field. Alright, he steps in. Salzer, the left-hander, looking into the windup. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Strike one. Salzer on the hill for BHD. A big, lanky left-handed pitcher. And he's asking for a new ball after that foul was thrown back to him. Alright, Slack steps in. Here comes a pitch from Salzer. Ground ball hit sharply at third base. Picked up the throw to first. High, and it's caught. One down in the bottom of the first for Iron Waffle. Okay, number 17, Jason Holtz stepping in. Holtz, a right-handed batter, will be facing the left-handed Salzer. Nobody on base, one out in the bottom of the first. Salzer into the windup. The pitch. It's a line drive, just foul down the right field line. So the count goes to 0-1. Salzer, a very deliberate pitcher, deliberate in his windup. Takes as much time as possible in between pitches. All right, Holtz waiting. Here comes the pitch. Fouled at home plate. Looks like he fouled it off his foot. And I can tell you that hurts. And now he steps in with an 0-2 count against Craig Salzer. Salzer into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. So Holtz strikes out. Two down now, and pitcher Gary Anderson steps into the plate. Salzer walking around the mound right now, shaking his arm a little bit just to stay loose. It's pretty windy on the field. Pretty breezy here today. Salzer in the windup. There's a drive hit the center field, and it will be caught by Chris Teskey in center field for the third out. So for Iron Waffle in the bottom of the first, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base, and the score at the end of one inning, BHD 2, Iron Waffle nothing.
We're inviting you to be a part of some semblance of what I feel is the best organization in baseball. You are a part now, only for a week though. You can't go home and tell somebody you made the club, but you are down here for 1 week as a Milwaukee Brewer. Enjoy it, and we enjoy having you.
All right, the top of the second begins, and number 15, Terry Jansen, will step in against Gary Anderson, the starting pitcher for Iron Waffle. Jansen playing first base today for BHD. Right-handed hitter against the right-handed Anderson. And the first pitch, that one's outside, ball one. Anderson stretches into the windup, and another one outside, ball two. Anderson seems a little uncomfortable out there. He did not have a long break in between innings as Iron Waffle went down 1-2-3. Into the windup, and another one low. So he starts off 3-0 to Terry Jansen. Anderson looked like he was going to breeze through the first inning until the throwing error. That one's right down the middle. Jansen taking all the way, count 3-1. Anderson winds, throws, fouled off by Jansen. And he might have chased one out of the strike zone there. You can tell he's being aggressive, trying to get something started here in the top of the second. Anderson winds and deals. Outside, ball 4. So Jansen will take first base. And Anderson walking around the mound. He's already thrown 28 pitches in the first 2 innings, and there's nobody out in the top of the second. Having a little meeting at the mound, Anderson and catcher Grasshopper Martin. Now Martin comes back behind the plate, and Tom Jansen steps in. Anderson deals. Outside, ball 1. Terry Jansen on first, taking a short lead. Anderson deals. Ground ball hit the shortstop. Fielded cleanly, throw to second for 1. On to first. And he was pulled off the bag at first. Took a moment for the umpire to make the call. But they did get the out at second, so there's 1 down. And Tom Jansen on first. Dennis Johnson will be stepping in to face Gary Anderson.
Next batter, number 3, Dennis Johnson, 33.
So with a runner on first and 1 out here in the top of the second, and Dennis Johnson stepping in. Gary Anderson laboring a little bit out there. Anderson winds, delivers. Missed with a ball. You could probably hear a little bit of arguing coming from Jerry Augustine over in the Iron Waffle dugout. Next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 1. So they count 1-1 here. Runner on first. And 1 down. Pitch. Fouled at the plate. Strike 2. Number 44, Jeff Hahn on deck for BHD. Again, Anderson stretches. Delivers. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So 2 down here in the top of the first. Terry Jansen still on first. And Jeff Hahn prepares to step in. Hahn, a left-handed batter. Although he seems to be struggling a little bit out there, Anderson is getting the job done. Again, those 2 runs in the top of the first were unearned on his throwing error. Here comes the pitch. A slow roller hit the shortstop. Flips over to second. Gets the out. And the inning is over. In the top of the second, no runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, BHD 2 and Iron Waffle nothing.
We're inviting you to be a part of some semblance of what I feel is the best organization in baseball. You are a part now. Only for a week, though. You can't go home and tell somebody you made the club, but you are down here for 1 week as a Milwaukee Brewer. Enjoy it, and we enjoy having you.
As we head to the bottom of the second, the big left-hander Craig Salzer warming up. He'll be facing Bill Alber, the number 4 hitter for Iron Waffle. Salzer went 1, 2, 3 through the top of the order in the first inning. Left-handed batter facing left-handed pitcher here. And again, Salzer very deliberate on the hill. Looking in to get the sign. Into the windup, here's the pitch. Strike 1. Albert looked fooled on that pitch. It's a slow curve on the outside corner. Salzer delivers again. Strike 2. Another curveball. So Salzer approaching the left-handed batters with off-speed and cutters. Haven't seen him throw a fastball to a left-hander yet today. He delivers again. There's a fastball, but it's outside. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-2 here in the bottom of the second. Salzer deals. Curveball taken, strike 3. He has a nasty curve today. One down in the bottom of the second inning. And number 22, Tom Schroeder, coming up to bat. Schroeder, a right-handed hitter, has done well this week. Swings a good stick. Salzer looking into the windup, and the pitch outside, ball 1. Salzer again is very deliberate in his motion, his delivery, staring in for the sign right now. Here comes the pitch. Schroeder grounds it back to the pitcher. Salzer picks it up, throw it to first, and he got the out. So 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning, just like that. Salzer working his way through the order. And number 13, Steve Hepp, steps in. Right-handed batter. Salzer into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Salzer not having any trouble finding the plate today. Salzer into the windup and the pitch. A little inside, ball 1. Salzer again delivers. And a foul ball rolled down the third baseline. Count goes to 1-2 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Wind starting to pick up here. Salzer looks in and delivers. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the end of the inning. They go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. 4 Iron Waffle in the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Score at the end of 2 full innings. BHD 2, Iron Waffle nothing.
Milwaukee's been a big league town since Aaron came up from the clowns, Bonnie, Eddie Lou, and Billy Joe. The Pilots changed their name, and the Brewers soon became the only name Milwaukee fans were cheering for. I'm talking baseball. Skip Lockwood, Kubiak, Brewers baseball. Colborne, Patton, Auerbach, Slayton, Scott, and Briggs, and Davy May. Harper shares a feat with Hank and Mays. Talking baseball, Brewers all the way. Bambi came from Baltimore. The pitchers gave a mighty roar. 22 for Mike and 78. Darrell Porter, what a pity, he left for Kansas City. But Charlie was taking care of business at the plate. I'm talking baseball. Molitor and Yount, Brewers baseball. Gorman Thomas hit him out. Gentle Ben and Bando came to play. Larry Heisel, he had a shortened day. Talking baseball, Brewers all the way. Now when you're talking Brewers baseball, Bob Uecker, Dave and Dell, Sutton and Simmons too, Cecil Cooper coming through, an MVP and Cy Young in 1 year. Raleigh did it here.
The big left-hander, Craig Salzer, is warming up to head into the bottom of the 7th and final inning. Catcher Tony Paniagua behind the plate. And while we have a moment, we'd like to thank Bill Schroeder, who puts in a lot of hard work, a lot of time and effort into making this event happen every year. A tip of the hat to Bill. Thanks also to our producer and program director, Craig Best. Craig is here today, working in the booth as always. He's a fixture here at Maryvale Stadium, has been for more than 10 years. And Salzer warming up with a 4-1 lead. He's pitched a 3-hitter and given up 1 unearned run. He'll be facing the top of the order for Iron Waffle. Rob Slack leading off. We're at a point in the game where the batter is in deep shadows. Pitcher's still on the mound. Alright, Salzer still very deliberate. Looking in for the sign. And into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Strike 1. If anything, Salzer's control has seemed to improve as the game wears on. Jason Holtz on deck. Slack standing in. Salzer looks in for the sign. Set. Into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Line drive at the left field, and it is over the head of left fielder Gene Hodgen. Slack cruises into second base with a stand-up double. And Iron Waffle is certainly a never-say-die team. Jason Holt steps in. Pitcher Gary Anderson on deck for Iron Waffle. And Anderson has matched up well with Salzer today. And we have a timeout as Pete Ladd comes out to the mound. He's calling the infield in for a meeting. They're going to discuss strategy on what to do if a slow roller's into the infield. Of course, you want to keep that runner at second base, but getting the out is the most important thing here. Nobody warming up on the sidelines to go into pitch, so this will be Salzer's game to win or lose. Alright, the meeting at the mound is over. Ladd heads back into the dugout and Holt steps in. Salzer toes the rubber, touches the brim of his cap, looks in for the sign. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. Salzer again in the windup. And the pitch. High foul ball. Looks like it'll fall behind, dugout into the seats. Bounces around there amongst the fans. The first and third baseman for BHD guarding the lines. You want to anything hit down the lines, you want to hold to a single if possible. Of course, an extra base hit would just keep a rally going here. Holt steps in. Salzer into his windup. Here comes the pitch. Another foul ball, almost to the exact same spot. So the count is 0-2. Runner on second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. And a 4-1 lead for BHD. Salzer looks in, gets a sign. Into the windup, and here comes the pitch. There's a pop fly that could be trouble. It will fall in for a base hit in right field. And here comes Slack rounding third. There will be no throw to home plate. It is now a 4-2 ball game. So Iron Waffle scores here. And pitcher Gary Anderson stepping in. He'll be facing Salzer for the 4th time today. Holtz takes a lead off first, conservative lead. First baseman playing behind him. Salzer into the windup. Here comes the pitch. Drilled down the left field line, foul ball. Bill Albert on deck for Iron Waffle. So the count's 0-1 on Anderson. first, nobody out here. Bottom of the 7th, and a 4-2 lead for BHD. Salzer again in the windup. Here comes a pitch. Called strike. It's a curveball that dropped into the zone. So 0-2 now on Anderson. Salzer still working very deliberately. Walks around the mound, toes the rubber. Now looking in for the sign. Into his windup. And the pitch. High fly ball hit the left field. And that will be caught for out number 1. Holtz hustles back to first. Tom Schroeder steps into the plate. Actually, Tom Schroeder is on deck. Bill Albers steps in, number 34. Left-handed batter facing the left-handed Salzer. Salzer into the windup. Here comes the pitch. And foul back into the screen behind home plate. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Jason Holtz leading off first, being a little cautious with the first baseman right behind him. Salzer looks in. Here comes the pitch. Outside for ball 1. Salzer trying to throw a complete game here. He's back on the mound. Looking in for the sign. Into his windup, and here comes the pitch. Slow roller up the third baseline. Salzer picks it up, throws to first, and they got him. 2 outs now. Jason Holtz moves down to second. And the last hope for Iron Waffle, Tom Schroeder, number 22, steps in. In this 4-2 game, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, Schroeder's going to be trying to make contact with the ball, just put it into play somewhere and get that run home from second and keep this rally alive. Salzer into the windup. Pitch. Ground ball to the left side. Picked up by the third baseman. The throw to first is in time. Ball game is over, and BHD has won this year's Maryvale Baseball Camp, Milwaukee Brewers Fantasy Camp. Players celebrating on the field now. And talking to some of the players today, they were talking about what a great experience they had here, how much they enjoyed playing this week, and getting to know some of the former Brewers players who coached them here. So the final score, BHD 4, Iron Waffle 2. BHD 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Iron Waffle 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. And that'll do it for this year's Fantasy Camp. We'd like to thank you all for listening in today, and for those of you who are here, thank you for coming. And have a safe and pleasant evening wherever you may be. This is Eric Lenneberg, and I'll see you again soon.
Go on, get your best station on.